All right. So thanks for being here, guys. I hope my email that I sent out yesterday made sense. I've heard from a few of you already. Hey, Sienna. Um, I hope the information made sense that I shot out in the email yesterday. Kind of, we're going to take things a week at a time. Um, Hold on one second. All right. My son was explaining Star Wars to my wife. So let's start this over just a little bit. Again, I'm going to be posting week to week until I have more information. Everything that's been there is kind of self-paced. So let's just start first, and I'm going to hopefully be able to share my screen with you. All right. So let's go to the U.S. history page here. So as you guys saw already with the town hall meeting or with the announcements, I've enabled these. It should be able to post, I think, the three most recent announcements. So the one I posted yesterday kind of has our schedule for this week. So there's three activities outlined for this week, things that you guys can look at your own pace. I saw a lot of you this morning were already there. Um, this afternoon, a couple hours ago, is where I posted this. Um, so there, you can kind of see. Obviously, since you're here, you can click on that. But the announcement piece, if you haven't enabled those, or if you're having a hard time seeing those, that might be a setting you want to review in Canvas. The other thing that I kind of added to the top of the page here is this remote learning main page. And basically what I wanted to do is have a one-stop shop for you guys to be able to kind of see um, what the schedule is, where links directly to it, so you didn't have to kind of go clicking around. A lot of this stuff is already posted on the calendar as well. um, but yeah, so I just kind of made that remote learning main page for you. Let's see here. And this is my first experiment with this as well. So as I kind of play around with this, um, click out of that. Okay, any questions on that so far? So we're going to go week to week. I've put assignments on those two pages, both on announcements and on that remote learning main page. That should be where you need to go for that. As far as my expectations for these assignments, this is going to be self-paced. And what I mean by that is you take it at your own time. Though I put days on there, I'm not really looking for this to be done until Friday. So again, if you have other things come up, if you are sharing devices, if there's some people that are in Spanish right now that aren't here, that's totally fine. My expectations are that you are not required to be in a live video every day, because I'm going to record it, I'm going to post it, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let me just go back through here, and I want to show you just a couple things here in here just so I can talk through the schedules for this week, just kind of expectations. So the first thing here is the vocabulary activity. It's very similar to what we've done already. You have your terms, you have your definitions, and you have your images. One of the things I've noticed so far is people are looking here at Star Wars. And you are referring, I put it in quotations, not because I'm talking about the movie Star Wars, but we're talking about the strategic missile defense against the Russians. So, not necessarily Star Wars, the movie, but the Star Wars missile defense program. So, that's where I've seen some people kind of go off. Um, Brainstorm events, people from the 80s that you'd like to learn more about, and or that you feel you understand, and one thing that you want to learn more about. But this is very, very typical to what we've done already. um, The second thing here is this 80s note catcher, or politics in the 1980s note catcher. My thinking is that you would use the notes that are linked here to complete this note catcher. So they follow along directly. You kind of go through and fill in those blanks. Um, as you go through here, these slides that are looking at the political cartoons posted, what is the author trying to say and what led you to this conclusion? That's going to kind of show me that you've gone through, you've given it a little bit of thought there as to what the artist is trying to tell you. And then there's a few questions here at the bottom that's kind of like, all right, did you get the gist of it? But everything you need should be linked here in the notes for that second assignment. And again, when you're done, you can submit that completed note catcher through Canvas. The last thing is this politicians in the 1980s. This will take a little bit longer, but these are the questions that you are looking to answer. You know, their background, what were their political ideals, what was their impact on the country, are they a quality politician, why or why not? If we were in class, this would be obviously something we would work in groups, but you can go through this list right here and you can select any of those guys that stick out to you and answer those questions, whether that's in Google Slides or PowerPoint or a document, whatever is going to be easiest for you. This is what I'm looking for that for that information. So get out of here. Does that make sense? I hope. So let's just kind of review again, just going through, making sure I'm checking all our boxes. I'm going to post week to week. The assignments are due at your own pace. There is no firm due date or otherwise. As far as grading for this week alone, and it will continue until I hear otherwise, the two grades that will be in Infinite Campus will be T for turned in or I for incomplete. That neither one of these will impact your numerical score in Infinite Campus. I've got a lot of questions of, well, does that mean I don't have to do anything? Or I really want to bring my grade up. For the time being, consider the grade in Infinite Campus essentially frozen. There are numerical grades that will be awarded, but I don't want to put those in case I have students without access that aren't completing things until a bit later. I don't want, you know, for as many emails as I have as I want to bring my grade up, I don't want to have the same number of emails as to why is my grade going down. So right now, the grades that are going into the parent portal, into Infinite Campus that you see in the grade book, T means you turned it in, I've seen it, I've reviewed it. When we have kind of gotten more clarity as to what grades are going to look like, then I will go through and I will put numbers in for that. But for the time being, T means you turned it in, you're good, move on to the next thing. I means it's incomplete. And at this point in time, I'm not looking to put any incompletes in for anyone until Friday. And Friday's kind of where I'm saying, okay, you've had a week, there's these 3 assignments, I'll put those in. But that doesn't mean that you couldn't do them Saturday or Sunday or next week. The incomplete just says, at this point, I haven't seen it yet. Once I do, I will change that back. I know it's a little ambiguous, it's a little confusing, but the information that I've heard is we don't want any of these assignments to go in and negatively hurt your grade at this point in time. So everything is formative, and that's kind of where we are going to go from this point on. Any questions from anybody? You can unmute yourself and ask, or you can type it in there. Okay, something I want you guys to think about is, I know a lot of people are saying, you know, like, well, every day at this time, we're gonna, you know, do something. I'd like to check in with you guys. So I'm looking at tomorrow, tomorrow morning sometime, about going through those notes, the 1980s or politics in the 1980s notes. Again, you can be there as part of the live discussion, or you can review the video later once I post it on YouTube. But for the time being, let's shoot for that. Let's shoot for that going at about 10 a.m. tomorrow. I will post an announcement probably about 9:45 tomorrow morning saying, here's where we're going. These are the notes, and for people to join. It should be the same link. But again, if you have any questions at this point, please shoot me an email. Um, I know in my email yesterday I said my office hours. I will definitely be online between 10 and 11:30 and between 2 and 3:30 every day. So if I get an email, in the this afternoon or later tonight, I will respond to that email by 11:30 tomorrow morning at the very latest. If I get an email from you in the morning time, I will reply before the end of the day. It just kind of hits our morning and afternoon hours. None of this is set in stone. I want to be able to work with you guys and be as flexible as I can, but I just kind of need you guys to communicate with me. My hope is that history or U.S. history for you is not incredibly time consuming, that you have clear expectations. You can kind of do this on your own and spend some time in some of those other classes. I know chemistry and I know some of your math classes are a little bit more intensive. I would like this to not add to your list of stresses. So on that note, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for being here. Um, yeah, as far as this goes, guys, I'm gonna end the recording. I'll wait for it to render. I'll post this online here in a few minutes once it's done. I really hope you guys are safe and healthy, and I want to see you very, very, very soon. Hopefully we can see each other again in person, but until then, Zoom seems to be what we're going to be doing, and just keep your eye on those announcements. Okay, take care of yourselves, be well.